Hi y'all, I hope you're doing great today. If you've been paying attention, you'll notice that last week I didn't post a video. I thought, well, there's not a whole lot going on right now. We're kind of in a holding pattern, so it is. Volumes and intensity are relatively the same, and a lot of that just has to do with time. I definitely feel stronger. I can tell that my thresholds and efforts are going up, but I just don't have the time. And frankly, the weather by us is awful, which is why I had to take a trip up north. It was great to visit the family and get out on the snow bike. This is a little bit of section, probably one of my favorites from the ride. Beautiful area. Absolutely love the Underdown. And this is out in the Prairie Dells, kind of, I guess, the southern unit. And there's about 20 miles of groomed trails. And this section has a beautiful, just kind of little river going through it. Just gorgeous. Really, really worth the time. Spent about 2 hours riding out there, and it was a true treat. Down by us is pretty much mud, a little bit of snow, mostly just ice clumps. And to just head out into a winter wonderland, it's incredible. Kind of blows my mind how 200 miles makes just a huge difference. I think it's just that kind of lake effect snow. You start heading up and you kind of just hit a line, and all of a sudden, winter wonderland. So it was good. I got to see the parents. My dad caught a bunch of smelt and fried those up for us. Ate way more than I should have, but you gotta live, and that is really one of my favorites. A couple little smelt here and there. Getting back to training, one of the things I have been watching is my weight. This wasn't the greatest for it. Set me back a little bit, but overall, I'm doing pretty good. I'm down about 8 pounds from my peak, and to me, that's a huge victory. If we can shed another 10 by race day, I'll be a happy camper. I'm getting down into that mid 170 range. It's usually when I'm feeling great and the strongest, as far as racing goes anyways. I usually kind of fall off of the weights, but we're looking for pedal efficiency, and that's kind of where I like to be. So I don't know where else to go with this week. I think one of the other things I've been really trying to work on is cutting the beer at the end of the workday, and that has been a bit of a challenge. Just coming off another stretch, working 72 hours in 7 days, get pretty exhausted. Still trying to keep up with training and stuff. And I've noticed that if I have a beer after, I definitely don't sleep as well, and the recovery kind of slows. And usually, for the most part, I've been doing pretty good. Head up north and visit some friends and family, and things kind of slide a little bit. But it's a work in progress. We're getting there. I'll tell you, I loved this climb. Speaking of things, it was a little bit tricky, but the trails were just packed out so wonderfully. And then I came up on this nice little bunch of riders. Had a couple dogs with them, enjoying the day. What's better than that? Sitting down by the edge of the river, enjoying a little bit of a break, hanging out with your friends. That's living right there. That's living. But I think we're down pretty much past the river section. I think this week we're gonna get back at it. Probably sit another 9-10 hour week in the saddle, a couple weightlifting sections, and see if we can get the bike maintenance done, because frankly, the weather is starting to get a little bit nicer, and I think I can start commuting into work. I was actually looking at getting the long haul trucker, my commuter bike, out and taking a little bit of time on the roads down here, and I realized I have a slow leak in the back tire. Wasn't a huge deal, isn't a huge deal, but I know I'm going to have to take that off and probably find it. If I'm remembering to last year, I got to retape that back wheel too, and that's just a little more time than I had. Frankly speaking, every single one of my bikes needs work. My race bike's still in pieces. Talked to the partner, my wife. She's a beautiful, wonderful lady, and she told me that this weekend I should really sit down and get that done, and I agree. She keeps me in check. That's what a good partner does. So I think this week's goals, we'll get back to training, get a little bit of that in, and we will get the bike back together. it's a big project. It's one of those things, you know, where you're like, I know I need to do it, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Yeah, it's just gonna be one of those things. Gotta sit down. I'm gonna sit down, enjoy that, get it back together. Nice afternoon of just, you know, building bikes. Get that back tire of my long haul trucker put back together. I'm gonna have to strip it and kind of get it. Oh, yep, telling myself, gotta watch for time. And get that wheel on. So this week's goals: another 10 hours in the saddle, 2 weightlifting sessions, get the race bike put back together, get the commuter bike functional. We can strip her down and get that going. I also might have some new kit on the way. I got some killer deals on a new commuter helmet and some bike shoes, so maybe we'll throw those into the video as well. But I don't have anything other than some rambling. I'm thinking I might just throw this whole uncut video out and let you take a look at it a little bit later. But for now, I'm gonna call it a week. Y'all have a wonderful week, and I will catch you next one. I promise we'll have at least something for you. Take care.